Welcome to the Badadoom 118 Cobra channel.
This is a review of the A-10a Thunderbolt II Warthog by World Peacekeepers, and that is in and around a 2014 product. I have recently imported this because it is very hard to get. You can get it on eBay, you're going to pay a lot of money for it. This particular product does not come with the tiger shark style decals. The decals that come with the World Peacekeepers product are actually quite plain. I decided to spice this up a bit with some of Toy Hack's product, which I am quite pleased with the result of, as it essentially mimics the look of some of the Warthogs that you've seen in the intro video to this review. Midway through 2025 in the 118 apocalypse. And just so you know, this channel will not be reviewing any classified products. I will be reviewing some non-GI Joe 118 products, hence the name of the show. The A-10a Thunderbolt II, commonly known as the Warthog, is a close air support aircraft designed for anti-armor ground attack, battlefield interdiction missiles. It is heavily armored and has exceptional loading capability and is famous for its 30mm Gauge A-Avenger cannon, which is a 7-barrel hydraulically driven cannon, fires 30 times 173mm depleted uranium or high explosive incendiary rounds. Rated fire is 3,900 rounds per minute, bursts of 5,200 rounds, magazine of 1,174 rounds. It means they can go through their magazines very quickly. You can see that this A-10 Warthog has unguided bombs, guided bombs, cluster munitions, missiles, EGM, Maverick, Sidewinder A9, ECM pods for electronic countermeasures. It's not typically the 600-gallon tanks, external fuel tanks, are not used in combat, and so you can see that it has the groove style not the dumbbell style used G.I. Joe. There's some detail that's has been left off here, so you can see the wing looks okay, but I guess it cuts down on the weight for the wheelbase. It's fairly robust, not to worry about it. You can see It protrudes just like the real Northrop Grumman product. There's some pretty decent design detail here. So you can see some of the things that I've added here. This is original to the Peacekeepers stickers, which are somewhat low quality. You can see I've added Tiger Rat stickers. Really brought this plane out in terms of made it pop, made it look a lot better. Well worth the money I spent. So you can get a good look at sort of the detail here. This and this is about the only thing I had to put together. It came with a giant box. See the giant box this came with, creating much more expensive import fees. Let's take a look at some of these. By the way, this product comes with the flagger, the pilot. We'll be taking a look at them. It comes with a couple of gas cans, some base building items, some crates, an extremely low quality gun, submachine gun, an oil drum. Does not come with an ammo belt, giant ammo belt for the GAU, which would have made a lot of sense. But hey, can't have it all. You can see that the just like this is true to the product that is put out by Northrop Grumman. So you can see the Sidewinder missiles here. There's rocket pods, Hydra 70. There's the Zuni 5 rocket, which is less common. Passive detect laser spots designated by ground troops or other aircraft mounted on the front right fuselage. So that's what this is here. It's not made in a laser itself, it's used for delivering LGBs. Countermeasure systems, it does have chafe and flare dispensers, which would be pretty helpful because this particular plane it's not the fastest. It's not built necessarily for speed. So about 250 to 300 knots typically. Significantly reduced maneuverability. Plane does have a titanium bathtub for the pilot because it does take ground fire, and that is a huge feature protecting the pilot from, as I said, a variety of issues from the ground. So we've got the red tip nose pod laser spot tracker. As you can see, I have added shark teeth, as I mentioned earlier. Got some larger Tiger Rat stickers designating the United States, and the colorful Air Force United States logo. So the engine produces about 9,065 pounds of thrust. This is a subsonic plane. One engine provides enough thrust to maintain level flight, climb modestly, return to base, which is extremely useful, as these A-10 twin TF34 GE100 turbofan engines are mounted high on the fuselage and spaced apart, therefore increasing the survivability of the plane. In the Iraq War, this plane was known to fly back to base with one engine completely shot up. So this is definitely a beast of a plane. The A-10 has manual reversion controls. Even if hydraulics are lost, the pilot can mechanically move control surfaces. The large straight wings give excellent lift at low speeds, making a single engine flight stable. The A-10 can fly as low as 120 knots and land on short, rough strips, critical for limping home on one engine. As mentioned in Desert Storm and later conflicts, return to base with one engine blown out, wings shredded, and hydraulic systems gone. Some flew hundreds of miles back to base on one engine. The US Air Force looked to phase out this plane recently, and basically we're not able to find a capable replacement of the plane. So unlike the Tiger Rat, there's not a lot that actually comes off here. None of these turbine covers, none of the jet covers come off. You see that the sensing pods for a variety of ground-based analysis. And so this particular machine is therefore known as the tank killer. Typically, it is accompanied by a sensor jamming product, like a growler, provides a certain amount of protection, freeing up the Warthog to do its nasty piece of business. Let's take a look at the pilot. It's about a 4-inch pilot. Nobody buys these products for the pilots, or the figures, that is. With that being said, range of motion isn't too bad. The box does say minimum 21 points of articulation, implying that there's more than that. You can do the 360, the spins, so it's very similar to the G.I. Joe toys. This is not an O-ring. It does pivot. This particular pilot's head does not move, which is interesting because the footage always shows pilots' heads moving and looking around in their cockpit. But hey, sort of cheaped out on the head, and you can see that the oxygen tank here and the hose to the pilot is all fused together as one piece. This does not come off. The flagger is pretty similar quality. The head does move, interestingly. It's kind of odd that there's more articulation on this particular character. I do like the idea of this character, and I understand that type of character was never released for G.I. Joe. Seeing as they had someone called Raptor, they probably could have released something, but I'm not sure if that is quite as exciting. So we're going to take a look at Captain Maverick today from the 1987 Battle Force line. I do have the Vector, which I will review in future videos. This particular character I had handy, and let's take a look at him inside the cockpit as I cover the camera with my hands. Sorry about that. So you can see that there is a ton of room for a 3.75 inch character. There's no doubt about the fact that you could fit 4-inch G.I. Joe character pilot in here. Here's one of my favorite 4-inch characters as a side-by-side. So I guess this looks like it's actually closer to 3.75, although this is a particularly bulky and tall character with the removable helmet. I have switched to only collecting vintage G.I. Joes, but I definitely have to say I do have a soft spot for the some of the 4-inch characters. This thing is fantastic. Starting to troop build them. I've only got a couple so far. That's a little bit flimsy here. Let's see if we can get a look at the cockpit there. A little bit dark in there, sorry about that. So, despite all the light I am using, a little hard to see there. So there is some controls. There's a steering wheel style, not a stick. And so that's a decent amount of detail, I would say. So I know that this has not actually been widely reviewed, which is one of the reasons why I decided to do a review of this product, especially I think G.I. Joe Berg might have done it briefly, Yeah, I know he's a fan of the World Peacekeepers. There are some other reviewers out there that do really like the World Peacekeepers products. They are certainly model quality, as you can see. Again, there's a look at the back. So it's a mean piece of business. I think that is pretty much going to do it for this particular review here in the 118 Apocalypse. Unless World Peacekeepers restocks their website, you're going to pay over $200 for this in Canada. You're probably going to pay close to the same amount in the United States. Thank you for checking out the A-10a Thunderbolt II by World Peacekeepers on the Bada Doom 118 Cobra channel. And I do appreciate your liking and subscribing, and time to roll the credits.
To the Bada Doom 118 Cobra channel.
It's a thunder machine. Hear the thunder machine. Run for cover, thunder machine. Planted in a different empty warehouse.